Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bible in 1 year with the Preacher's Husband. Today we're talking about Numbers chapter 35 and chapter 36. These are the last two chapters in the book of Numbers. Now, it starts out talking about the cities for the Levites. Now, God commanded the Israelites to give cities out of their hereditary property for the Levites to live in and pasture land around the cities. This is not something that's really unheard of. Even today in churches, some churches provide a home for their pastors. Of course, you know, the Catholic Church has almost an entire city that's run by them. You've got the Vatican City there, which is run by them. That's a whole city reserved for the Catholic, the Pope, the bishops, all those that are there. But this is what got me. This stumped me right off the bat, but it was resolved later. But it says that you will include 6 cities of refuge, which you will provide so that one who kills someone may flee there. In addition to these, give 42 other cities. The total, I thought, what are they trying to do? They're going to make these refuge cities so murderers can run to them and be protected? That's kind of weird. That doesn't seem like something that's very godly or very holy. But it says here the total number of cities you give the Levites will be 48. They go on to say you should take more from the larger tribe and less from the smaller one. Each tribe is to give some of its cities to the Levites in proportion to the inheritance it receives. And then here's where we resolve the little issue that I had. And that's the theme of the whole Bible. If you've got an issue with something that's going on, it just doesn't seem right, keep reading, because later on there's clarity. There's going to be clarity for all of your questions at some point. Over and over again, we get clarity, and more clarity in the clouds that we are presented with at first. Verse 11 says, designate cities to serve as cities of refuge for you so that a person who kills someone unintentionally may flee there. You will have the cities as a refuge from the avenger so that the one who kills someone will not die until he stands trial before the assembly. Select 3 cities across the Jordan and 3 cities in the land of Canaan. Now, I popped a map up here for you guys. There were several maps. This one's kind of hard to read the words on, but the good thing about this map is it shows you exactly where the refuge cities are. The ones that are red circles are the refuge cities. You see the one down in Judah, one down in Reuben, one up here in Ephraim area. Then, of course, one in northeast Gad and east Manasseh tribe, and then Naphtali's tribe up there in the north. So you got those 6, and the rest are your other Levitical cities that were given to the Levites to live in. Now, we want to talk a little bit about the murderers and how that works in the assembly. The assembly, according to verse 25, is to protect the one who kills someone from the avenger of blood. And the person who did the killing has to live there in that refuge city until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the holy oil. Now, someone who kills someone unintentionally, in our day and time, we call that manslaughter. And that's actually a felony, a convictable crime as well. Just because you killed someone on accident, you could still go to jail for that. Maybe a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, but it's not going to be a whole lifetime, right? Well, here, they are serving a punishment in these refuge cities. They're not allowed to go back to the land that they own, their wife, their kids. They're not allowed to go back there. They have to stay in the city. They have to do it. If one who kills someone ever goes outside the border of the city of refuge he fled to, and the avenger of blood finds him outside the border of his city of refuge and kills him, then the avenger will not be guilty of bloodshed. For the one who killed the person was supposed to live in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest that anointed him. Now, only after the death of the high priest may the one who has killed a person unintentionally return to the land that he possessed. Now we're going to move on to chapter 36. And here's some more of that clarity I was talking to you about. When we first talked about the inheritance of Zelophehad's daughters, we talked about how they gave the daughters land. along with the brothers and the uncles. There was no son, so the land that he had went to his daughters. And God said, yeah, give it to the daughters. But there was a but in there. And we didn't know what that but was until chapter 36. And basically what it is the people of the tribes were having a problem with this as well, because what would happen is the woman who inherited this land would marry somebody. Well, if they married somebody that was outside of their tribe, does the husband that they married get the land that belonged to that tribe? Because that eliminates that land from her father's tribe and her father's name. It goes away. So that defeated the purpose of giving the land to the daughters, because the daughter specifically said, so this land will remain in my father's name. It wouldn't if she marries outside of her tribe, outside of her tribal ancestors. And then basically Moses talks to God here, and they clarify, this is what the Lord has commanded. And he says it twice, not just one time, but he says it 2 times to make sure he gets the point across here. He said they may marry anyone they like, provided they marry within a clan of their ancestral tribe. No inheritance belonging to the Israelites is to transfer from tribe to tribe, because each of the Israelites is to retain the inheritance of his ancestral tribe. Verse 8. Any daughter who possesses an inheritance from an Israelite tribe must marry someone from the clan of her ancestral tribe, so that each of the Israelites will possess the inheritance of his fathers. No inheritance is to transfer from one tribe to another, because each of the Israelite tribes is to retain its inheritance. So, the thing about it was, if she married a man that was outside of her tribe, then that land would not go with her and her husband. She would have to go and live on her husband's land that he had. He does not inherit that land from his new wife. That land would go back to the tribe at that point. The daughters did exactly as the Lord commanded, though, and they married cousins on their father's side. Then they married men from the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained within the tribe of their father's clan. So that was the entire point of that. It wasn't the point of, since there wasn't a son to carry on the name and to carry on the land, to give it to the daughters, because that would have been it would have not, in a patriarchal society, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work, because as soon as they start marrying and having babies, it ain't that father's name anymore. It goes to husband. So the Lord did away with that. So that clarifies that section for all of us, and that kind of answers those questions that we had previously. Now tomorrow we're going to start in Deuteronomy. That's right, the study of Deut. So we're going to do chapter 1 and chapter 2 in Deuteronomy tomorrow. So I hope to see you again for another exciting episode of the Bible in 1 year with the preacher's husband. Click like, click the subscribe button, of course. Click the little jingle bell so you get notified the next time I upload a video. And if there's something else that I missed that you want to talk about in the comments section, plop it on down there and we'll talk about it. See you tomorrow.